Welcome back everybody to Empyrion Galactic Survival. I'm KnowItAllDM. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. Today, hanging out on creative mode, exploring the new options for Alpha 9.4. So, as you may have noticed, I have a couple of platforms set out with some blocks on them. And I'm going to go over the majority of the new stuff for Alpha 9.4. This is a large update. I guess it's technically a medium update, but for a just 0.4, for a not 0.5, it's a large update. And the primary thing you'll notice is the additions of new cargo boxes. So here we've got the original cargo boxes. I'm going to go into God mode real quick. So we've got the original cargo boxes for the capital vessels. And as a quick breakdown of these boxes, so the 1 by 1 by 1 cargo box can hold 8,000 units of volume. And it is, it utilizes 50 CPU, which right now isn't really enforced, but it eventually will be. And you can have a total of 7,500 CPU eventually. And so you'll notice that CPU is 50, which all cargo boxes except this one are 50. This one is 100, and it utilizes, it's got 16 units, just like this one and this one do, 16,000 units, but these two use 50 CPU. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to use those instead of that, unless you just like the aesthetic. But we've got some new cargo boxes. All of these are identical mechanically to this one. It's just new visuals for the cargo boxes, and they put them in pallets, and they're basically what they are is they're a combination of the new small vessel, hover vessel, cargo boxes put on pallets. So there's your original cargo box, and then you've got the new textures and new models for the hover vessel and small vessel cargo boxes. And what these pallets are is, as I said, basically just pallets with combinations of the small vessel, hover vessel, cargo boxes, which I really like that they did that, because it makes it seem now like if you have these sitting in your base or your capital vessel and these on your small vessel, that you're basically just transferring them back and forth between the small vessel and the base. In addition, they've updated the models for the container controllers for the hover vessel and small vessel. I had to make a hover vessel here for this container controller because it's an ore and wood one that only the hover vessel can hold. And then this is your regular container controller and your ammo container controller for the hover vessel and small vessel. For the base and capital vessel, they have a different model for it, which actually looks really cool. You've got your little computer input here, you've got your connection things. Now the individual connecting blocks all look the same as they did before, but as you can see, the container controllers have a large update to the way they look. Now they don't just look like your regular old cargo box here. In addition, the base for the two teleportation devices, which are not creatable in survival mode because of the way you have to connect them, but they've given model updates to them. This one has a major model update. This is the teleporter. Instead of just a little teleport pad, it's got a little update. And then this one, they just added this little plane to the back so that you can see that you can't go through it, rather than it just being, you know, a flat plane. Hover vessels have also gained 3 new types of thrusters. These are each their own individual thruster type. So like in here, they actually have their own little units. And I don't know why they did this, because like this and that could be combined, because it's like a 1x2 and a 1x2, but for some reason they didn't. Mechanically looking at it, let's see, 70 CPU, 160k in force. It's got more force. That's what it is. And what they've done is they've also updated the tech tree here for the hover vessel. So as you can see, it's a larger hover vessel tech tree for the thrusters, putting this one here right after that, and then these down here and that across there. So you've got more variety with not only the aesthetic that you want, but also the type of force that you want to put in it. So for example, these two are 3x1x1, and they've got 300 force, 220 force, and this one has just 200. So in the tech tree over here, it's obvious that this is the weakest, but it's also got the least CPU usage as well as energy input. Yeah, it's got the least energy input as well. So it's given a real dynamic to what you want to do. Also, the force of all of these existing thrusters has also been increased from what it was. This was originally like, I think 50 kilonewtons, and this was like 100, and they've increased them so that you can get better force. I'm thinking they're doing this because of the weight issue that people have been having with hover vessels with weight volume activated. So that's a good thing that they've increased the force of these. I don't know if they increased the force of the hover engines yet, but that's something that they're going to definitely want to take a look at if they haven't, because it's definitely, I think they may have. I think I don't even remember what they were. But with all those, there's another major update, or a couple other major updates. You will notice when walking around, say, this capital vessel. This is my ARV Titan. This is the capital vessel that I've been updating every major update. And right now, of course, its CPU usage is off the chart. I can lower that a bit by modifying the thrusters, but it's still going to be more than 7,500 no matter what I do. Trust me, I have tried to make it a viable capital vessel without changing the design, and just by changing the thrusters and the fuel tanks and the cargo containers, which, you know, you don't really need 116,000 for a constructor output, because you're usually going to be grabbing it and throwing it away, like pulling it out from there. So basically what I'm thinking is that now the inventory I'm probably going to want a bit larger, but I might just change this to a single large cargo box. But in any case, the CPU usage, the lowest I can get it is around 10,000, which is still more than 7,500. So what I'm hoping is that eventually, because right now that's just the core that gives you that. I'm hoping that they will add little extender things. Like, it would be really awesome if, say, they took, let's just do this, took these consoles, and instead of being deco consoles, if, say, you put this on here and each little computer were to add, say, 100, that would be a major thing, because then, and you could have like little core, like secondary computer cores or something. And what that would do is it would make it so that you would want to have, like, in the engineering up here, you would have like these computer things, maybe not these, but specific ones that you would want to put around to extend the CPU max of your vessel. And you can make them expensive, make them use power, make them whatever, and people would use them, because the if the CPU limit is enforced, then it's kind of, you know, pointless. But in any case, as I was saying, you'll notice you don't hear the broop, broop, every time the sensors go off. You can still hear the this, but you'll notice the lights just come on their own because of the sensor, but you don't hear that annoying high-pitched squeak every time you go into a sensor area. That's amazing! That's something we've been asking for forever. Well, okay, since they introduced sensors. Now, it would be interesting if you could activate and deactivate the sound. Like if you went into here and in here there was a little click like right next to here where it says make sound when activated. That way you could activate it, you know, if for some reason you wanted it, maybe for testing purposes or whatever. The second major thing is that you'll notice down here that landing gear are now in the control panel. Now the main reason for this is that they've added a signal to it so that when the landing gear come out, it will turn the signal on, and when they retract, it'll turn the signal off. As of now, unfortunately that's not exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping you could activate and deactivate them without being close to the ground. But as it is now, what that means is that when you land, when the landing gear are out, you can have it turn on specific lights so that, like, if you have a small vessel and the vessel lands, it automatically turns on, say, exterior lights, or, you know, or if you wanted to have it, say, not turn on lights when they're out, but turn them on when they're on with a sensor, you could do that, you know, like with the with this, just have it so that, you know, you've got an inverter with the signal. Anyway, I'll probably go over the signals more because that's something that a lot of people don't have as much proficiency with as I do. And if you want a major tutorial in the sensor signal switch thing, just leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll do a signal sensor switch video. Now, another update that they've done is in the POI department. They have updated / added 60 new or updated old POIs. Now, one thing that I noticed while looking through this list is that the Ghost Riders have been replaced. Well, not so much replaced as they have been... There's an additional faction, which is the Ghost, but it's not. It's the Gist. And let me get down here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Where is it? G. So originally you had the Ghost Auxiliary, which were the Ghost Riders. Now they have all these new POIs with the Gist, G-H-Y-S-T. And all their POIs are basically just updated model or like updated versions of the old Ghost Rider POIs. Like this is a Gist Stealth 2, this is the Ghost Advanced Stealth, this is the Ghost Defense, this is the Gist Defense. Over here, you've got the Ghost Rider Biolab, and you've got the Gist Bunker, which interiorly are both identical with just aesthetic updates. As you can see, when you come into here, this will activate the turret out here, activates the little blinking light. It's got a lot more aesthetic for the same POI. You've got your little computer room areas, and so they've done a major overhaul of these POIs, and specifically the Ghost Rider POIs that have been updated. And so what this means is that for the Ultimate Iron Man competition, I'm going to have to do a major overhaul of the Ghost Rider thing, because I'm thinking I want to use these new POIs, because the new Gist POIs look amazing. But yeah, it's also something that I've noticed is that the turrets that they have all laser turrets for the Gist, whereas for the Ghost Riders, of course, they had some laser turrets and some ion cannons, but all of the Gist POIs now have, like, all of their turrets are 100% laser turrets. And that's something, or artillery turrets. And that's something that is, you know, a major update, because they may be trying to phase out the ion cannons, because they honestly don't do a whole lot. They do a lot of damage when they hit, but they rarely hit if you're getting a small vessel or something. But I mean, I still like utilizing these for certain things, because I mean, they've got a short range, and honestly, they're really useless. But anyway, but so other updates they've done, they've updated some of the abandoned Pioeyes. All of the abandoned Pioeyes, the alien Pioeyes, now have the spawn plates are static and invisible, so that the creatures only spawn once in a specific area, so you can just, you know, shoot out the area and like kill all the things and they're done. But that's the majority of what they've done in this update. And as I said, it's been a huge update. Well, okay, it's been a large update for a update that's not 9.5. I mean, this is something that I would expect for 9.5, but no, this is just 9. In addition to all this, something that I am not showing off in this video, but I might show off in other videos, they have added a new planet called the Barren Metal Planet, which is, it's basically a planet with a lot of metal, but it's uninhabited and very little plant life, or if any. And so that's something I'm looking forward to taking a look at. They've added it to the random solar system. And so in one of my new scenarios that I've been working on, it's a randomly generated solar system, but it's really large, and it's supposed to be a co-op thing or a single player system. But you could do it multiplayer, I suppose, although the start planet might get, you know, a little anyway, just because of the way it is. Anyway, but and I'm going to add the Barren Metal to that as well. And for the Ultimate Iron Man, I might start including the Barren Metal Planet as a planet type starting as early as Season 4, because I've already got Season 3 set up and everything. But I am going to have to be updating the POIs for Seasons 2 and 3. So I don't know how much of the update I'm going to have to do, but they also updated, if I'm not mistaken, the snow and desert planets. So I'm going to have to work that into the update for Season 3 at least, because you start on a snow planet. And if there's desert planets, I'm going to have to update those for Season 2 and 3. But in any case, that's been the majority of this update for Alpha 9.4. It's got a lot of good things in it. Oh, one thing I did not mention, which I want to mention right now, is I love the devs, and I'm glad they did this. They've been planning on doing this for a while. They've added more block shapes. Thank you. Thank you. So they've added block shapes up until this patch. All these block shapes up here were in here up to this point here. Now they've added corner small, cube, like full X joints for the little tubes. They've added all these shapes that are just going to be adding so much. Like this right here. This is something I've been wanting for a long time. And up until like recently, the closest you got was this little bugger. And that's not something that you want if you want, you know, full flat over here. But so I love that they added these new shapes. I'm going to be playing around with them a lot. This is just an amazing shape, which is basically that with it filled in. But that's, you know, that's what I love about this. This is something that they've been needing. I mean, and then a lot of these are shapes that I never really, you know, never really thought we needed, but we do. Like this right here is just like awesome. I love the devs. This shape is one that we've been needing for a while, and I don't know if we've had this when that was in there. I don't think so. I think this was not in there. And this one I've had to be using this little thing to fill in the corners for the longest time. Now I've got something so it doesn't look so annoying. But yes, new block shapes, new cargo containers, new thrusters, new controller models, and the sensor switches, new Pioeyes, just lots of new stuff in this. I want to thank all the hard work that Empyrion and the Empyrion devs have been putting into it. I want to thank everybody who's worked on the Pioeyes and everything. This is an amazing update, and I'm just ecstatic about everything they've added. Not super impressed with the way that they just added the little signal here. We need to be able to activate these with switches and sensors instead of just having to when they land. But it's getting there. It's getting there. That is something that I want, is those things. But I am actually excited. Unlike a lot of people, I'm excited to see what they do with the CPU update, which maybe Alpha 10, maybe Alpha 11. We don't know. But I'm excited to see what they do with that. It makes a lot of sense to me to add that in there, but only if they add things that expand the CPU, which all the CPU stuff was added in like Alpha 8, I think. So, or Alpha 9, beginning of Alpha 9, I mean. But in any case, that's going to be it for this update video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button for me. And if you want to see more Empyrion Galactic Survival, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have anything you want me to cover, any video of this type you want me to do, anything like the sensor switches, if you want me to go on an extensive thing of it, because as you can see, in this one capital vessel, I have a lot of circuits set up, and I can go over all of those if you guys want. And, you know, that's, you know, just let me know in the comments down below what kind of videos you want. And as always, I'm KnowItAllDM, and y'all have a good day now.